The impact of social networks on innovation, the case of European regions, by a team of researchers of the University of Cantabria with Alfonso Badiola Sánchez, Pedro Casares, Pablo de Castro, Pablo Coto, and Miguel Ángel Pesquera. This research analyzed the relationship between the use of social networks and the generation of innovation in European regions through a production function of innovations using human capital, technological capital, and virtual relational capital with the new theoretical approach. For this, it is estimated an econometric model of panel data for the period 2007-2011 and 190 European regions. The globalization of technology has transformed the order of knowledge and innovation on a global scale in an incredible short period of time, producing change at high speed that bring with them new challenges and opportunities. Knowledge, human capital, technological capital, and relational capital with the support of social networks has become to be a new virtual and global relational capital that set up the keys to the progress of countries, regions, and cities in the coming years. To make the life of the citizens better, to achieve a balance between a smart, sustainable, and inclusive growth, allowing new ecosystems of innovation capable of generating and retaining the talent of our young people, adding value and economic growth. Social networking allows people to be interconnected and connected by chain links. In this way, we can get an idea of the magnitude of diffusion that causes the emission of messages in the social networks and the importance of this for the communication of ideas and knowledge. To get a better idea of its relevance, the currently most popular words in Google search and Facebook and Twitter, and 22% of internet use time is really social networks. As indicator of innovation, we get a variable number of patents as these that ensure originality and a high probability of becoming innovations, besides being easily quantifiable and comparable across countries. Using the database of cross-sections with 119 regions merged temporarily with data for the period 2007-2011 from the European regions. It is estimated an econometric model of data panel. Most of the data used in the research were obtained from the latest report Risk Regional Innovation Scoreboard, published by the European Commission 2012 with innovation data of 190 regions. We use the dependent variable innovation and the explanatory variables human capital and technological capital, taken from the theory of economic growth and physical relational capital, given the richness of the interaction of the agents. Moreover, it has added another explanatory variable, which we call the variable virtual relational capital, which has been built by analyzing the Facebook and Twitter searches from the Google Trends tool. Let us to remark about how we measure virtual relational capital index. We calculate it to each region with two parameters: the number of searches on Google for the word Facebook and the number of searches on Google for the word Twitter. Then we get a relative index about which is the use of the most important social networks in Europe by region in the period from 2007 to 2011. 5 models have been estimated based on a semi-logarithmic approximations innovation production function for European regions. That semi-logarithmic function is linearized as shown in equation. The parameters alpha and beta are respectively the elasticities between human and technological capital and the innovation. On the other hand, parameters gamma and delta are semi-elasticities between variables associated with the number of users of social networks and innovation. First, it is estimated a model in which innovation is explained using traditional production factors such as human capital and technological capital. It is obtained that the human capital measured by tertiary education and the public technological capital measured as public spending on research and development are individually significant variables in the production function. But instead, the private spending is not significant. However, the variables are significant jointly. If it is include the users of social network Facebook in Model 2, it is obtained that are not individually significant. This is due to the existence of positive correlation between the human capital indicator and the users of social networks, especially in the case of Twitter, which is why this traditional production factor should be eliminated to assess the individual effect of social networks on innovation. Thus, in Model 3, we find that both Facebook and Twitter, as well as the public-private investment in research and development, are explaining the generation of patents in the regions of our old Europe. Since all variables are positive and significant individually and together as shown in the test statistics. With this model is tested empirically the positive contribution of the chains of ideas and information through virtual social relationships that occur within social networks as a productive factor in European innovation. But not enough, and it would also be advisable to compare the individual effect of Facebook and Twitter. So, finally, in Models 4 and 5, we explain the mechanism of generation of innovation in European regions in the current period of crisis through private and public research and development capital and users of the two more important social networks in Europe. The last two columns show the estimates of Models 4 and 5. The variables are significant individually and jointly. The estimated parameters are positive and show the positive contribution separately from each of the social networks. This model explains econometrically the contribution of both Facebook and Twitter to generate innovations in European regions. We can resume that it has been contrasted the effect and weight of traditional production factors, human capital, and technological innovative mechanisms of European regions. Two new variables constructed from the daily use of the most adopted social networks in Europe, Facebook and Twitter, have been included as explanatory variables in the production of innovation. Their use can be an indicator about the exchange of knowledge through virtual relationships, becoming not only a play for free time, but also an engine, generator, and diffuser of innovation. Finally, we conclude that collaborative relationships based on exchange of knowledge measured by the number of users of social networks contribute to the generation of innovation. Thus, communications tools based on Web 2.0 and user interaction through social networks favors the creation of patents, indicator generally used in the scientific literature to measure innovation. As the innovation is a source of development and the number of users of social networks Facebook and Twitter are explanatory variables with positive parameters on the generation of innovations, it is recommended to think social networks not only as a leisure activities, but as something that contributing positively to regional development. That is, we should not demonize the use of social media, understanding them as a waste of productive time, but that business should be aware that they can bring something positive to the management of knowledge in today's society, setting up input that adds value to the regional mechanisms of innovation. Thank you. Please questions and comments by email to pablo.decastro@unicam.es or Twitter @pdcastro. Thank you.